Yeah.
And welcome back. We have Kerala Blasters head coach Mr. Vukomanovic with us. Coach, how would you like to sum up the game?
Yeah. Well, I must say immediately that for us this was one of the most difficult games of the season. You know, it's kind of the game where there was no result importance for neither side. Then when you see and think about everything what both teams and both clubs have been going through this season, so this kind of game today was the tough one for both sides. You know, from one side, I would say and repeat that I said a couple of days ago that Hyderabad FC, this young group of players, they deserve one medal for this season, for everything what they've been going through, with all the issues, all the problems, being there, always present with enthusiasm, motivation. So big praise for them, congratulations for them for this kind of season, you know, to stay motivated every game. On the other hand, also, I have to say, like, big praise for our team, because today again we had a couple of players playing on the position that they are not used to play, because again we are suffering with some issues with some cards that we didn't want to take risks today. Again, the feeling of playing this kind of last game where everything was already decided, it was kind of, you know, it get a feeling like, I don't know, sometimes you have this family gathering, you know, where everybody has to come, but nobody wants to be there. You know, and then you have to go 2 hours through that, you know, sitting there and maybe listening one drunk uncle who will be there to insult everybody, or, you know. And this kind of game today that we wanted to win, we wanted to get those points for us as a important, positive, mental boost for the next week, for the playoffs. So it was kind of weird feeling, you know, not having that high motivation again, yet you have to be motivated, you have to be ready, you have to be concentrated for everything. And so today we managed to do that. It was a tough game, it was difficult, because young team of Hyderabad has good young players who are promising a nice future, and of course, I'm really happy with the result with 3 points.
Coach, you mentioned like this game was a little challenging in terms of how you approach it. Now you'll have a big game probably away from home, either with Goa or Malaysia, depending on how the results go. So now that you have that 1 week break, how do you plan on utilizing that?
Well, again, you know, flying back, recovering, then trying to recover some players who were not with us in the last period, going through this next week, you know, with 3-4 good training sessions to prepare the next game, depending against who we are playing. It will not be easy, of course, whether we go and play in Odisha, whether we go in Goa. For us it will be the tough one. So in the playoffs it's completely different mindset, different approach. It goes about one game, it's a knockout phase. You know, you want to be there ready with the full potential, with the maximum that you have, and try to get best out of it. So of course, to take a rest, to refresh, to get ready for the game, and, you know, like I always like to say, let's go there and the better team wins.
Coach, last time Kerala played in the semi-final of the top 4 time was back in 2016. They played at home, and last year your campaign ended in the playoffs. How eager are you to get that result so that you can have a semi-final leg back?
Well, of course, for everybody in Kerala, it would be awesome that if we can go through, because we would like to play that semi-final. Let's say we would like to have that semi-final feeling in front of our fans. Even you know, in the last periods in January, again, it is a suffering period. You know, we lost so many key players who we cannot recover till the end of the season. Throughout the whole season, we never managed to play with the strongest team. There was always somebody missing. There's always somebody, you know, falling down, suspensions, injuries, and it's a pity that we had a kind of nice run, but then when you lose so many key players, it becomes complicated, it becomes difficult. But of course, if we can later, we will do all the best possible. We would like to have that feeling in front of our fans. So, and then hopefully later, with the help of your fans, anything's possible.
Firstly, congratulations for the win.
Thank you.
Last 4-5 games, your team was playing extremely good football, but a lot of results did not go your way. Today you won. I think a lot of good also you rested a lot of your key players. So some of your players who got a bit of a break, do you think they might be a little rusty going into the playoffs?
No, because they played so many games this season. On the other hand, today we intentionally let outside a couple of players because it was too risky, because there are 3 yellow cards and we don't want to lose anybody for the playoffs. Last year we were gambling and we lost 2 players for the playoffs, important players, and that kind of led to a bad feeling. The point is also that many of our players who played today in the last games, they deserve to play as well. They are young, promising players. They need to play more. They need to get playing time. They need to grow up. They miss experience. Even in some parts of the game, they still cannot recognize what they have to do. It's still poor in decision making. But this kind of thing you get by playing games. So in our club, this is also part of the vision of our owners, club structure, that you always want to produce these young players because they are the important asset of the club, not only of our club, but maybe tomorrow of the India national team as well. And allowing them to play, to showing their quality, they become better. And we are proud of them, not only young players, but we are proud of all our players. They're giving everything, because playing in Kerala, especially with defense, is special. And they need to give that. So hopefully now that we can recover players, maybe like Diamantakos, Luna, who are important. There is a big question mark still. They got, let's say, puffed out after these short-term 3 games fixtures, where actually they had discomfort. So now it's a big question mark if we can recover them for playoffs. And I find it a little bit annoying, because instead of having normal fixture period where we can build up towards the playoffs, these fixtures actually provoke that some of them they're out, and now actually when you're entering playoffs, that maybe you cannot be the best you can. So it's kind of disappointing, but again, not an excuse. We'll have to fight with the weapons we have, so we'll do our best.
Speaking of young promising players, you brought young Nihal on. You scored a goal as well. Can you tell us a bit about what you think of him? Can you tell us a bit more about him?
Well, he's he arrived in the club. Now it's my 3rd season in the club. Since the season 1, we discovered a couple of young talents like Nihal, Vipin, Sachin, goalkeeper, Azar, Ayman brothers. There are still a couple of youngsters who tonight on the bench. There was Aritra. There are a couple of them also at home. That's the future. That's the part of football where if you don't produce these kind of players, very soon you will stay without the players. And if you want to stay alive with the limited budget that maybe some clubs they have, so they have to do that. And it's your asset for the future. Later on, maybe you can sell some of them. When they grow up, they become important players. Nihal is one of the guys who we selected now already 3 years ago. He went through this young youth development process in our club. When the moment was ready, so like I said, him, Azar, Ayman, Vivit, Sachin, all these youngsters, who are growing up, you give them playing time. They have to pass through that period of youth, then they're coming to the first squad, growing up, and of course they have qualities that they can play in ISL. So whenever we can, we are giving them those playing times, sometimes in different positions, because we want them to feel different position playing football. Like that, they will grow up faster, they will become better. So again, it's our asset, and we have to continue working with him, and not only him, but all of them a lot, really hard, in order to get them better and in order to get our club better. That's the point.
So coach, we heard that Luna's recovered well, so will he be available for any of the playoff games?
Who?
Luna.
Well, Luna, he started practicing with the team last week. So we'll see now during this week if he's available. Of course, after so long, 4.5 months, I'd say, after surgery, we should be careful. Even today, we had an idea maybe to get him some playing time, but he was also on a 3 yellow card. So then we decided not to bring him. And then now, of course, if it's possible, he will be there with us, because he's a great player. He proved that so many times in ISL in the previous 2.5 seasons. We are sorry that we didn't have him for the most of our season. I think with him and maybe Pepper as well. Diamantakos, when they are in form, they are unstoppable. Then don't forget that we didn't have Jigson for 4 months Ivan, he's still out. Sachin is out. Even the Sotirio who arrived in the third, fourth training, he got injured. So we missed so much quality throughout the season, and for us it was always improvisation, trying to find the right formula, building up team dynamics. And then when we actually reached that kind of level we wanted, again there was somebody falling apart, and it was exhausting. For us and me as a coach, it was the most difficult season I've had in my life, to manage everything, around the team, so many issues that sometimes you cannot control, and then you have to go through it. So it's exhausting. We are exhausted, and we hope to rock and roll now for the last period, last couple of weeks if possible, and then we are done.
Last question. Who would you like to face, Goa or Malaysia?
Everybody. So, for us every game is tough, even tonight. So there was no easy game for us this season. Whoever it is, we're going to fight.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, guys.